Hey guys, welcome to Franklin Woodworks. My last build was an assembly table that I'll also use as an outfeed table for the table saw. Many folks left comments wondering about miter slots and whether or not I'd be able to use my table saw sled without moving the table saw away from the outfeed table. Well, the truth is, I totally forgot about miter slots. It never crossed my mind until I read the comments. So, once again, thoughtful comments saved the day. So in this video, I'm going to rectify the situation, and also, just like in the last video, I'm going to give some thoughts on router safety. I'd wish I'd have thought those thoughts before I started this project, but it's too late now. My mistake will hopefully cause someone to keep their fingers. I started out by using a straight edge to mark out where the miter slot should go. Then I clamped a straight edge for my router to run against and used double stick tape to attach a stop block to the table so the end of the slots would be consistent. Using a straight bit, I cut a shallow dado on the first pass. Then I added a little depth each time until I got the depth I was looking for. Then I moved the straight edge about 1/4 of an inch and began to make the next pass at full depth. The plan being to widen the dado little by little until I get it to the width I need. By only taking a little bite at a time, the bit isn't having to work as hard even though it's at full depth. But here's where things went wrong. Remember in the last video I broke a $40 spiral bit because I didn't think things through and used the router in a very inefficient and, as it turns out, dangerous way? Well, same thing happened here. I was just thoughtless about a different aspect of using the router. I can only make the cut in one direction, and by starting on the left side of the dado and moving to the right to widen the slot, the direction the router bit was spinning was the same direction I was moving the router. This is no good. All of the spinning sharp things in the shop are designed for you to push the material into a blade that's moving in the opposite direction. Well, except for a radial arm saw or a sliding miter saw, but that's a different animal. But by orienting the cut the way I did, the router has a tendency to catch on the wood and run away. And that's just what happened. And just like last time, it was scary. But I was committed now, so I had to complete that dado with a white-knuckled death grip on the router. The second dado was a snap because I did it correctly. I started on the right and moved my way to the left. Much safer and a better result. But with the dados complete, the only possible complication is not having the table saw and the outfeed table in alignment when it's time to use the sled. I didn't want to attach the two together, but I needed to be able to get it perfect every time. As you can see in this picture, the back rail of my table saw has a notch cut in it. Why? I have no idea, but I can use it to my advantage. I held a small piece of plywood underneath the notch, flush against the table, then traced out the shape of the notch. I used that as a template to make a duplicate out of a small piece of maple. Since everything was already lined up as it should be, I just used some CA glue to attach the maple piece just by sliding it into place. I didn't have to move the table or the table saw. I'm ashamed that I made 2 dumb mistakes with the same tool in 2 straight videos. But I had to let you see what happened so that others might avoid the same situation. You can thank me for putting my stupidity on display by subscribing to this channel, leaving a thoughtful comment, and sharing this video with your woodworking friends. I hope this gives you some good ideas for your shop and helps you to keep all the parts God started you out with. Thanks for watching, and there you go.